Well, there we are, starting a little early tonight. Not much going on this week as far as what I have in store, but going to do a little bit of summer series tire prep for Emerson. I'm not going to race tomorrow, or this weekend, I should say, but my son is, and I definitely want to get him, the best shot he's got at making an A main this year at the summer series in mod 2 wheel. So we're going to be putting together a set of tires for Emerson, and then I'm going to finish building. As I'm doing that, I got my Boba Fett Bandai model that I finally am almost done with. You can see there's Boba Fett, and after I get him built, and I know good modelers would do this before they build it, but I'm actually going to repaint him to make him look like the Mandalorian, and then I'm going to get that little $10 Black Edition Baby Yoda that we have for myself, and I'm going to put him with him and make him the Mandalorian. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So I got that in hand too. I think it should be pretty easy to paint him. I'm going to take off this armor, paint it chrome or whatever, Beskar or whatever, and then all this gray actually needs to be kind of a brown color. So there's that. I actually bought this thing way back in like February, and I've been messing with it here and there, and it's pretty lame that it's taken me that long. But yeah, I'm excited to get him painted up as a Mandalorian. And then the only other thing that I got to do with him is the weapon he has is too short. It's not that long blaster. So I'm going to have to actually make one. So I'm thinking about just taking some Plastruct and gluing it and making it look that way. So yeah, not much as far as super interesting, fun stuff. And at least nothing too new that I have tonight. Just doing what I always do before a summer series race, and that is gluing tires and prepping cars. I don't have to prep my car because I'm not racing. So Emerson's car, it is what it is. I'm going to let him, I don't know what the term is, but yeah, he made his own bed. There you go. So we might work on his car tomorrow. I don't know. So I'm putting my usual V-cut into my foam here, and I'm not cool enough to have a tool or anything like that that buzzes it in, although they're starting to make those now. So basically you would put this on a drill and then take this file and basically file in. It's kind of a neat thing. But I don't have that, so I'm just going to do what I always do because it works. So there's that. Hopefully you guys, if you're on Facebook, you can check out the Team Associated Summer Series at the HobbyPlex Facebook page and check out the awards. I got them all built tonight, and I got them all set up so I don't have to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be working on just little final things for the track. I got to get some banners hung up, and I'll paint the peaks of all the jumps, paint the corners, try to clean up the track area a little bit, and then I got to work on the giveaways. We got a lot of giveaways to get wrapped up. I think this year everybody's going to get just a number, and then that number will match a number on the prize table. I think that's how I'm going to do it this year. In the past, I've given people bags that have some random little stuff in it and a ticket number, and then they go find that ticket number for their stuff. But I don't really feel like putting all that stuff in bags this year. I think I'm just getting lazier. So I think I'm just going to wrap everything up and do it the way I just said. Probably make it go a little faster as well. For those of you guys that, kind of don't know what I'm talking about, so since 2005, we have had the Team Associated Summer Series. Team Associated has been our title sponsor of that series since 2013. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 8 years. Team Associated has been our title sponsor. And think about that. We have given away kits in each class since 2005. And Team Associated has done it since 2013. And we have anywhere from 8 to 10 classes, depending on the year. So that's a lot of investment that they've made in us. So I think that's why, part of the reason why we get such a good turnout is their continued support, but also all of the other guys that give door prizes out. J Concepts, AKA Raw Speed, A-Main and ProTech always hook us up now. This year we got Gravity, RC, and Motive. One Up Racing sent some stuff, which is great. RPM usually comes through this year. I don't know if supply has just been an issue with some of these places, but we also had webrized.com, my sister's parent company of our podcast, is giving away 1 free hour of podcast time. So whoever wins that gets to spend some time in the studio, maybe think of a new idea. I actually thought of a new idea. It's not really even a new idea, but I thought of my own, like a second podcast that has nothing to do with Hobbytown or anything like that. And I was thinking about today, I could easily do some sort of a TV or movie review podcast, because I watch so much of it. Why not? I think that'd be fun. Maybe I could get my sister to do it with me. And because I have strong opinions on TV shows and movies and stuff. Especially if it's stuff that's legacy, like, Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, or Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, all those. Those are my favorite. So we got, looks like right now we got 12 viewers. That's great. Mister's on here. That's awesome. Nathan's on here. Daniel's on here. Daniel Bender just got a brand new B74. So it's going to be exciting to see him running that thing at the Plex. Yeah, the drift kits, man. So if you saw our What's New Wednesday this week, I did order a couple drift kits. We got a couple 4-wheel drive ones from Tamaya, and then we've got a couple 2-wheel drive ones from Yokomo and Max Speed Technology or MST. Yeah. Dude, the drifters are pretty cool. You can get a pretty neat car with some carbon fiber on it, really for not much money. The FXX is only $179, and hopefully the drift guys will be back. So I felt bad for them because as a group they wanted to change their nights from Thursday night to Friday night, and I was like, that's fine. You know, I was just like, be aware, Friday nights are Family Friday off-road, so there's way more kids around, but you know, it's probably a good thing. They can see what's up. And then we had 3 weeks in a row, including tomorrow, where we just can't have those tables moved. So I felt bad for them because they were just getting going. I think they had one of their best nights ever. You know, I think there was like 10 or 11 guys show up, and then all of a sudden we had Summer Series race, TCS race, and then another Summer Series race. So the good news is coming up we have 5 straight weeks of Family Friday Off-Road starting October 9th. So they'll get 5 straight weeks before our next Friday night endeavor, in which we need all the pits. All right, tires are all cleaned up. Let's see here. The R30, I can't remember which Tamiya one we sold. I didn't get a chance to get over there and look. The R33 might be gone. Could I try my new B74 on the carpet? No, you can't. The carpet is off limits until we get everything down to protect the main carpet from all the off-road cars. So a couple Summer Series races ago, we were letting some guys on there, and we had 4 huge gashes in the black carpet. Black carpet altogether, that thing cost $9 grand. And so when we run off-road, we put a whole bunch of carpet down over most of the carpet to try to protect it as much as possible. And without that protection, it's just not a good thing to have cars out there. So you'll have to wait. I know that sucks. I know we don't really have a designated practice day for carpet off-road like we do with the big dirt track, but it just kind of is what it is. So you're just going to have to come early that first Saturday. We open at 9. Get that extra hour of practice. I think I missed one. Tony Walters is on here tonight. That's pretty cool. Mister got his felony. That's pretty cool. We've been steadily selling our supply of them. I think we still have like 10. But we've been selling about 1 a week. That's what it seems like. Big Dude's on here. He said wishes he lived closer. Yeah, we do a lot of racing, that's for sure. Our goal is to just kind of always have something going on almost every day of the week. I think the only day we don't really have anything going on ever is Mondays. Monday's my one day off, no matter what, it seems like. And usually because we're so busy from the weekend, Monday's the one day where we make sure we get all of our orders sent out, kind of everything gets cleaned up from the weekend. But yeah, we do a lot. Not every place has been able to do that, you know, with this pandemic thing, but you know, so far we've been doing well. Nebraska keeps opening up too, so that's good. Yeah, the drift stuff's really cool. Like I said, what they do is they move like 3 rows of our pit tables, and they drift on the concrete floor. So we used to be able to drift on the gray carpet when we had it a little bit, but the black carpet's got way too much traction, so it doesn't work. So they definitely do it on the concrete, and it looks like it works out. You can always hear them, the cars down there, you know, spinning their tires on the concrete, and they've been getting better and stuff. I've been looking down there and seeing them, you know, it's all rear wheel drive stuff too. So they got the gyros hooked up. They really make it work well. Yeah, Ryan coming up was a pretty big deal this summer. It's pretty cool. And the only reason why I raced my 4-wheel drive that weekend was because he was there, and I wanted to be in his video. So Daniel's going to be on vacation. That's pretty cool. Good job. I'm going on vacation the 19th through the 26th. Finally. I've been waiting all year. We're going to be driving to Myrtle Beach from Omaha, Nebraska. So it's going to take a few days to do it right. My son's going to stop at a bunch of skate parks on the way. And then we're going to that Masters of Dirt race at Beach RC. So I'll be doing some videos on that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Daniel asked, do I want a gyro on the clay track with my Traxxas Slash? Well, I mean, maybe, but it's not really legal. So I know that the Traxxas stuff comes with their traction control system. I've driven it on our dirt track with that on. I don't really like it. I prefer it off. So Backcountry Sled Edits. You should everybody should subscribe to his channel. He's got actually he's got a couple channels, but he's got a video. I took some video of him flying his big plane, and it just so happened he accidentally crashed it. And I was like, ooh, I made sure I got permission. I'm like, can I post this? And he's like, yep, you can. So Jack let me put it up, and yeah, it's not doing too bad. A couple comments on there, kind of fun to read. Lord Fluff, how do I learn about racing etiquette for dirt racing? He's got an Arma Typhon. So that's a good question, because you know, there's some racing etiquette that is pretty universal. Drive the right direction. Don't use reverse when you're racing. Give way to the leaders. If you are a leader, be patient. And then of course, at the HobbyPlex, we try to limit any sort of yelling or arguing, anything like that. Hang on one second. Yes. You have to look at every single receipt. So you go back through you go to the smart screen, and you bring up each transaction, and you just match up every transaction to the credit card list. Yeah. No, it doesn't match up that way. You're just gonna have to, if you want, just leave it and tell Tim about it. and we can work on it tomorrow. Because you can't fix it. There's no way to fix it. So Tim has to go in and talk to the main guy. That sucks. Right. Yeah, you should be able to identify the if it was ring up wrong, we can find it, and then he just has to take that number and fix it. That's all. Yeah, dude, I don't know how I can help you over the phone. I'll figure it out tomorrow. All right, bud. Yep, thanks. Sorry. Anyways, no Family Friday off-road tomorrow. That's what Nathan asked. Will there be Family Friday off for tomorrow? So nope, there won't. Tomorrow's summer series practice for the finals, our last summer series race. So we need all the pit space we can get. Usually we get pretty filled up, so we can't have those guys down there moving tables, unfortunately. So October 9th, next Friday, there'll be 3 in a row. It's going to be great. 5 in a row. What am I saying? 5 in a row. 5 weeks in a row. Back to the etiquette thing. Let's see. Proline has a very good, I wonder if I can find it. I'm going to see if I can find it. Proline did this like list, and you know, it wasn't too bad. Oh my gosh, phone, what are you doing? It's probably easier to Google it, huh? I almost wasn't going to take the phone call, but it's the closer at the store, so I kind of had to, right? You know, see if I can find it here. Might be a picture. Then I can tell you guys where it's at, or I can type it in. Oh yeah, here it is. So Proline has this, I just Googled it and I found it. So I just put in Proline RC etiquette, right? These are just some things that they put on there. Help someone out who's having a hard time, pick up trash, don't litter, offer to turn marshal even though it's not your turn. Let someone else use your car, offer a pit for someone you've never met, give someone extra parts you don't need, wash someone else's tires or body. I don't know about that one. Volunteer to water the track, clean your pit area before you leave it. That's very important. And share your knowledge. That's a good list for etiquette. Doesn't really cover racing etiquette, I guess, but made me think of it. You know, the main thing is just kind of common sense at the track. You know, don't be a tool. That's one of them. You know, over the years, I've dealt with quite a few people that think that they're, you know, that some of the track rules don't apply to them, or think that their kids are the next Ryan Cavallari when it's clearly not, or you know, just one of my biggest pet peeves is you know, if I go over something at the drivers meeting and it's important enough to me to mention it, you know, don't go out and do that exact same thing that I mentioned, you know, not to do. That's happened before. All right. So once again, I know I've done tires on here a lot, but I popped three holes into the sidewall on the inside portion of the tire, not the outside. And of course, J Concepts tires are directional. And this year we've been running them with the slant going forward. So the slant going outward would be backwards. And I have noticed that might gives you a little bit more side bite, but you don't go through the corners as fast, and you definitely don't have the corner speed like I like. So so we've been running them pointed inward going forward, and that seems to work best for my son and I. So that's what we're going to stick with. Yeah, Big Dude, said on here, some racers are hardcore serious, don't give a noob a chance, and that's one reason why at our track, we've kind of developed Family Friday Off-Road, and that's like our beginner night, right? So the hope is that our new people come and they get started on that specific race night, and then they get a chance to see what guys like me race. Sometimes we race on Friday nights too, or they might come on a Saturday and see where the more developed racers are, and then they use Friday Night Off-Road as a stepping stone to get into that. Our beginner class, we call it Plex Spec. It's just a cool name for a beginner class. I didn't feel like calling it novice or beginner, just Plex Spec. I thought it was cool. That has a lower entry fee, and on a race day, if there's more than one heated Plex, which there usually is, I don't have the Plex Spec racers marshal the other guys. So that helps out a ton, keeping the new people from feeling intimidated and stuff, because some of the more developed guys might, if they crash and they don't get their car flipped over fast enough or whatever, there's always one or two people that like to yell off the driver's stand. I found new people especially don't really like that very much. so I've tried to keep that from happening as much as possible. Daniel's asking if I saw his new buggy body. In fact, I did. It's pretty cool looking. I just friended Daniel today on Facebook so that I could message him about this part we got in. And I got to warn you, I'm not a liker. I don't like a lot of photos or posts or anything like that. I know I'm supposed to, but I just don't. So that's something my co-host of the HobbyPlex show had to learn, was I see everything. I'm just not one of those guys that's like ping, 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 like. I don't usually do that. I've been trying to do more of that on YouTube though, so I have positive interactions with nice comments and stuff like that. But on social media and stuff, not really. Getting a Creighton 6S tomorrow. Are you getting the EXB or just the ready to run? Yeah, I think, that's one of the biggest questions we get when people are interested in racing at the store. They'll often say, well, I'm not good enough to race yet. I'll just get in everybody's way. And my response to that is always, well, you should come on Friday nights because everybody sucks on Friday nights. So you'll fit right in. And, that's the truth. nobody's any good, and nobody cares. That's what's great about our Friday night races. On Saturdays, you know, I've sucked before and had a bad day, and I've been grumpy about it, but that's what next week's for, hopefully, right? I actually won a club race this year. Won. It did happen. Well, watch those EXBs. So a bunch of them, I think, especially the first batch, they didn't shim the diffs right. So we've sold a couple and have, I think every single one of those guys has had an issue with the diff being, I think it's the front diff too, being like not spaced correctly, and it tears up the ring and pinion gear almost right away. So we haven't seen it on the Creighton RTRs, but the EXBs, we have seen it a few times. So just be aware. Okay. Daniel's going to turn his truck into a monster slash. We actually just got in the Proline black monster body. I think that's pretty cool. So when I glue tires, I like to put the ring on first, so it applies pressure right away. But you do have to, with your thumb, very quickly move that back. And then I'm fat, and so this little hole right here is actually from getting glue on it, because what I do is I use my belly as a third hand, and I kind of hold the tire in as I'm going around. So, but I did get glue on one of my favorite shirts, so it kind of sucks. But you want to peel it back so that you actually get glue in that. You guys can see that, but you actually want to get glue underneath in that channel, and that's what these rubber bands are. They're holding that into that. So you can find some really nice glue tips. J Concepts makes some. I usually use one or two of them, and then I lose them. So I just kind of get used to not having them. And yeah, you don't want to get the foam either, and that's true. So when I do the backside, because I put my holes right here, you kind of got to be careful not to get glue to creep up inside of here, because if you glue your foam to your tire, then your foam gets bunched up, basically, and your tires are like way out of balance. So there we go. It's tire number one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love my Rad Racing shirt. I actually had that made at a place here in Omaha, retro t-shirts, where you can just go to them and say, hey, I want a shirt like this. And I'd found them on like eBay and stuff, but they were really expensive. And so I just went into retro, told them what I wanted, and they actually just went on Google and found it, and then worked some Photoshop magic and made it happen. I don't know if that's legal because of copyright, but whatever. Actually, that shirt is why I continue to, I try to ride my mountain bike in the summer and stay fit as much fit as I can be because I'm fat, but to stay the same size so that I can still fit into that shirt. Because it is very possible that I would get much larger than I am now and not be able to fit into my Rad Racing shirt. All right. Josh wants to know if he can run 21.5 in Expert as well. Yeah. So 17.5 in Expert is a motor limit, not a specific motor that you have to run. So anything slower than a 17.5, you could run. So 21.5 would be fine. You probably won't lose that much. The 21.5s are like the perfect stock buggy speed for a like intermediate class, but I think a good 21.5 with a good driver probably wouldn't miss much compared to 17.5. Yeah, so everybody has their own favorite glue, I've noticed. The Bob Smith stuff that we get at Hobbytown, that's the actual orange tire glue, that is my favorite glue. And in the pack, they have, these are carded, so there's usually a couple little tips there, and I do use them. But then they get hard and they're not necessarily very, very reusable. So I always just use the glue, but nothing against the other brands. Sorry, excuse me. Nothing against the other brands, but AKA glue is like $12.99. This glue is $6.49. And I've never had tires come off the rim with this glue. So that's why I like that. The Bob Smith stuff, most hobby stores in the United States get their own labeled glues, epoxies, like foam safe glue and all that. They pretty much all get them from either Bob Smith or Mercury. And yeah, I've seen more Bob Smith than anything. So yeah, a good way to watch that movie, to watch Rad, is, well, actually, YouTube. You used to be able to find it on YouTube, but you would have to like hit the playlist. So there's a couple different. You can still find it. Actually, not lately. I think they got it taken down for copyright strikes or whatever. But for a while there was a couple different playlists from a couple different YouTube names where they sparsed it up into like 10 or 11-minute segments, and then you could watch the whole movie that way. I've also found it on illegal streaming sites, but we won't talk about that. Reddit used to have a page called Watch. What was it? Watch movies for free on anything, I think was what was the name of the subreddit. And I used to follow that. That's actually how I watched Star Wars The Force Awakens 2 days before it came out, in Russian and then in Spanish. And so I kind of got the gist of the movie. It was all in Russian and Spanish, and no subtitles. So, but then I saw it in the theater and I was like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. But that subreddit doesn't exist anymore. So, but that's a good idea. I should buy it on iTunes. You know, I used to have a huge crush on Lori Loughlin until she helped her bratty little daughter get into USC or whatever without any sort of credentials. What a dick move. Now she's not so cute. So I got my Boba Fett here, and I know I was putting together his backpack before I quit. So let's see here. See, there's his weapon, but it's shorter than the Mandalorian. So I'm gonna have to kind of make it up, I think, out of Plastruct when I get the chance. Bob's on here. You guys can go to Facebook and look up Bob's Bodies. He paints all of our bodies here locally in Omaha. Does a really good job. And I'd say now, for a while there before Kenny kind of stopped doing it, we had a guy named Kenny, and he still paints my bodies, but I'm not supposed to tell anybody that. But I'd say like 3/4 of the bodies that were used at Hobbytown, Kenny painted at one point, and now it's kind of the other way. Bob probably paints like 3/4 of all the bodies in Omaha. He's got to be crazy busy bonkers out of his mind. I don't know how he can put up with it. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Oh no, I lost like a rocket booster, or did I? Oh, I didn't. It's right here. So another movie that I like rediscovered the other day was on YouTube last night, not the other day, was Space Camp. Remember Space Camp? I used to love that movie, and I watched it again last night in pieces, right? Part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever. Joaquin Phoenix is in that movie as like a little kid. I had no idea that little kid was Joaquin Phoenix. And then I rewatched the movie last night. And I'm like, holy crap, that's Joaquin Phoenix. And Leah Thompson, who to this day, still not too shabby looking. One of my favorite Leah Thompson movies is Howard the Duck. Love that movie. A lot of good 80s movies that are out there. But in Howard the Duck, she's, not naked, but oh, my Boba Fett just fell. All right, I am on the rocket booster, or the booster pack, or whatever they want to call it, while I'm waiting for my tires to dry. Leah Thompson's one of those actresses that's not like Lori Loughlin, but where she hasn't really done anything to mess up her image. Who's the name of the girlfriend, the second girlfriend in Back to the Future, and then also Daniel's girlfriend in Karate Kid. I can never remember her name. And I should, yeah, anyways. Flight of the Navigator is okay. I don't know. it's weird. That's not one of those movies I would go back and be like, oh, I got to watch this one. But movies from that era that kind of all had the same vibe. Explorers, that's a great movie. And doesn't that have River Phoenix in it? Right? I thought so. I think it does. And then, yeah, that one, Space Camp's a good one. The Last Starfighter, that's a great movie. I love that movie. I watched something on it the other day, and the graphics on it, by today's standards, are pretty terrible. But still, that was a good movie. I love the original Highlander. That's a great movie. God, there was another movie that was always on HBO back then. And it was like had some sort of woman that turned into a hawk or something like that. Can't remember the name of it now. It's crazy. Will I be at the shop tomorrow? I kind of will. So tomorrow's a summer series day. So I will be downstairs working on the dirt track and then eventually getting a bunch of stuff together. So I got to work on track and then door prizes. And then my son's going to practice for a while. And then I got to take entries. So I'm a very busy day. But yes, I will be there. Not exactly sure when, but I will be there. Okay, so that. Daniel, you can buy it tomorrow. It's up there for you up front. The last place I saw it, I'm pretty sure it is. Might even be in my box. But I think I left it at, no, I have it up front with your name on it. So you can buy it tomorrow or you can buy it Saturday. It's up to you. B11. So these Bandai models are, they're really good. And there's no glue involved. So I'm not a huge fan of models, period, but I also weigh that with being a Star Wars fan. So I've done a lot of Bandai Star Wars models, and I've done some Revell Star Wars models too. But I wanted to get Boba Fett and turn him into the Mandalorian. B16. Buckaroo Banzai. Yep. Daniel, yes, I did look it up, and it'll work with any 30 by 30 millimeter fan. So otherwise, I was going to order you the Rudog fan that you wanted, but according to A-Main, it says that it can use any 30 by 30 millimeter fan, so you should be good. So Daniel bought a Revolution Designs fan mount for his B74, or he's going to tomorrow. And one of the questions that we had on it was, will it work with any fan? Because it almost looked like it had a curved piece that only worked with one fan. But I looked it up, and now it works with any fan, so that's good. Okay, so this snaps into here like this. I'm going back up here. So Nathan's asking if he could come in and run his new Truggy on the dirt before people start showing up. You'd probably be pretty safe. You'd probably be pretty safe right at 4. But I mean, honestly, the track's probably going to be done by, I don't know, because what I do is the first thing I'll do in the morning is water the track, and then I got to retamp 1 or 2 spots to fill in some holes, and then I got to paint the tops of the jumps, and then I usually rewater at like 2 o'clock, and by 4 p.m. the track's usually dialed. So, you know, if you got there, say at like 3:30, I'd probably go ahead and let you try it. But if you get there at 4, you know, there'll be other people practicing. You just have to be really cautious, you know. But anytime after 5, that place will be hopping. I mean, it's going to be really busy tomorrow. So we'll see. Practice officially starts tomorrow at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. So B12. Dallas wants to know, eyeballing the team associated buggy kit to start Plex Spec carpet. Yeah, that'd be pretty dialed. If you like building kits, especially, you know, the team associated B6 is pretty dialed. Comes with the gear diff, and then you'll just, you know, we'd probably get you hooked up with a 21.5 brushless motor and a Hobby Wing just stock speed controller. They're only $50, and then a halfway decent servo and a shorty pack if you don't have one for a battery, and then carpet tires and rims, and that should about do it. The proper gearing. I'd say 21.5 because that is a easygoing stock motor that we have a class called independent buggy, and on the carpet they use 21. We're going to use 21.5 motors because it's a little bit slower, a little bit easier to handle, and otherwise on the big track for our stock buggy class, we run 17.5. So for carpet, I would definitely recommend getting the 21.5 motor and a just stock speed controller, and that'll get you lined up. Hey, do me a favor. I dropped my Boba Fett. You think you could grab him without knocking the camera down?
Don't you mean the Mandalorian?
Well, I know, but for now he's Boba Fett. He's gonna be the Mandalorian. Let me see him. Did I kill him? Is he eaten by the Sarlacc pit?
Not yet.
Oh, let me see him. He doesn't have any hands. He's battled Darth Vader, and he's lost both of his hands. Give me. So yeah, but so tomorrow, I believe Trevor's there after 4 o'clock, and I think maybe even Aiden's working tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't think so. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I don't think he works tomorrow. But I know Tim will be there, and you know, if I'm not up there, Tim can get you hooked up too. He knows all the right stuff for that, so should be good. Thank you, mister. Hope Canada's doing okay up there. Is 13.5 hard to handle and fast? No, I mean, it's fast, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's hard to handle. That's why there's you know, that's kind of why we use it as a, I wouldn't say beginner 4-wheel drive, but a stock 4-wheel drive class. So
Good night.
good night. Realistically, in the right driver's hands, a 4-wheel drive buggy with a 13.5 motor should go at our track about as fast as mod 2-wheel drive. That's why I like racing 13.5 4-wheel drive, because lap time wise, we're doing about the same speed. Even though my 2-wheel drive is a faster motor, the 4-wheel drives handle a little bit better, kind of go through the corners faster. So the lap times are very similar. Mr. says, I'm doing great. That's what counts. Yep, that is exactly what counts. So this is really funny. So I'm going to show you guys. This is what Bandai models, some of the crazy stuff that they have. So instead of just having that piece right there by itself, I actually have to build it to make this little top piece of his rocket pack. So instead of just having it be a plastic piece on the tree, I actually have to take these little bits and pieces out and put them together. That's what these Bandai kits are all about. Is sometimes they're almost like too intricate. You're like, why do I even have to do that? Why didn't it just mold it? But that's the way it is. So I think this does this tree too, so that's exciting. Ever seen Bad Taste or Dead Alive? Huh. No, neither of those sound familiar to me. Now I want to Google it. Did you guys, how many of you guys watched the Pandemic special last night? I love South Park. Dead Alive actually sounds familiar to me. Maybe I have. Wait. No, that's not right. Oh, there's Bad Taste right there. Nope, never seen that one. Looks like something I'm going to have to look up and wait. Dead Alive is directed by Peter Jackson. It's got an 88% percentage on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I think I've actually seen that movie because some of the screenshots look very familiar to me, so maybe I have, and I just didn't know it. Anyways, I'm going to get to the couple of these comments, but South Park's Pandemic special last night, there's a scene in which all the kids are in school and they're quarantined for 2 weeks, and the music from that scene is from They Live, one of the greatest movies ever, and it's got Roddy Piper in it, and yeah, and that's not the first time that they've used something from They Live in South Park either. So that's pretty awesome. Daniel wants to know if I'm the manager or the owner of HobbyPlex. I'm definitely not the owner of the HobbyPlex. I don't want to be the owner of HobbyPlex. There's way too many bills to pay at the HobbyPlex. I'm glad I'm not the owner of the HobbyPlex. So everybody here locally should be thankful that our owner puts up with what he puts up with for all of us to have the HobbyPlex. I'm just a manager. I'm second in command. There's a general manager, and then there's me. What does 13.5 and the numbers mean? Can you explain? So that's a great question. So basically, there's two ways to rate a brushless motor and what you find is a, I'll show you. Hang on a second here. Okay. Haha. So there's a turn rating that most censored motors use. So racers tend to like censored motors. So that's why a lot of our classes are defined by the motor. So you'll have, we say stock buggy. In most RC places, that's 17.5, okay? And the higher the number, the slower the motor. These also have a KV rating, but when brushless motors were coming around into the racing scene, we were so used to actual turns on a brushed motor that they kind of, there was this kind of general consensus that there needed something to mimic that. That's kind of what it came up with. Most sensorless motors, like this one, are rated by KV, okay? And so this is a 3,500 KV motor. This is actually, speed-wise, should be very similar to what a 13.5 turn motor would be. So 13.5 is usually right around the 3,300. Let's see. How does that work? An 8.5 or a 10.5 is like a very close to like a 4,300. An 8.5 is like somewhere in the 5,000 range. 7.5 is in the 6,000 kV range, and so on. And this is what gets confusing because the bigger the kV, the faster the motor, right? So all things being equal. So like if you're using a 2-cell battery, and you have a 47 kV motor and a 3,000 kV motor, the 4,700 should be faster. When you increase the cell count, that's why, like say the Creighton 6S, for instance, is a sensorless brushless motor, but it's only a 2,200 kV, but you're giving it 6-cell battery voltage, so it goes crazy and it's fast without getting crazy hot. If you ran like a 5,600 kV motor and a 6-cell battery, it would burn up. It'd be burnt to a crisp. So that's basically the rundown. Sensorless motors are usually rated by KV. The bigger the number, the faster it is when you're dealing with sensorless. Censored motors are generally rated by turns. The lower the turn, the faster the motor. I hope that makes sense. They Live. I love watching that. I love rewatching They Live, but I can't get over that woman's eyes. The woman that that he's like trying to save, and she ends up being either one of them or working for him or something like that. Her eyes are crazy. And I looked her up on Wikipedia one time, and she hasn't really acted that much. So I don't know. Daniel's got a question about motors. The Trinity motor gave me what are all those numbers that you can set? What do they do? What do I have to tune the motor? So that's another little wrench, monkey wrench that gets thrown into brushless motors. So what can I just do with that? Where'd it go? Oh, well, we'll just do another one. Okay, so oh, Big Trouble in Little China, dude. Come on. That movie is amazing. I have it on DVD. If I bring my computer with me to a race or something, which honestly I don't do that much anymore because you got your phone, But I had this stash of DVDs that I'd bring with me so I could watch in the pits while I'm waiting for my heats to come up and stuff. And Big Trouble in Little China is one of the ones that I always bring with me. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Lieutenant Valeris in Star Trek V. Dang it. Oh, Cattrall. Kim Cattrall. Oh my gosh. She's great in that movie too. Anyways, okay, so brushless, censored brushless motors. You can adjust your timing, right? And it's not going to come in focus. But basically, the higher the timing, generally the faster your motor goes, but it also builds up a ton of heat. So you have to find that happy medium. One of the better ways to find that happy medium is to get or have somebody that you know with a motor analyzer. Put the motor on the motor analyzer. I usually, what I do is I'll loosen up the end bell and I'll put everything on the motor analyzer, and then as it's running, I'll change the timing as it's running, and you can actually watch the KV rating go up and up and up, but then you can also watch your efficiency go down, 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 and then you have amp draw. And what you're trying to find, or the way I do it is, I would look for the point at which the efficiency started to drop, and you got your max KV and you got your max amp draw. And that's kind of where I would leave my motors. And they always seem to be fast. Some guys have a certain number, like I think it's 6 something for amp draw that they're always trying to hit. But I would always look at that efficiency number too. And if your KV is going up and up and up, and then your efficiency is here, and then all of a sudden it goes like that, then I would put it back to where it was here and leave it alone. So, oh, there's the motor. So, yeah. Hopefully that explained everything. Dude, so poor Kirstie Alley. I thought she was great in Star Trek II, and then they replaced her. Or I don't know if they replaced her or if she wanted, I think I read somewhere she wanted a bunch of money or something for part 3 and whatever. Look at that. Yeah, she was already on Cheers. That one part of Cheers where she put the cigarette in her mouth, and then like the lit cigarette, and then it came out. I remember that. I don't know why that sticks with me. Oh man, my Boba Fett's got a cape and a backpack. Still no hands though, because I haven't decided how I want his hands to be. Boba Fett. Let's check the glue, shall we? So, a good way to check and see if your glue is done is to sniff it. And if it still smells like glue, it's not done yet. And you get just a little bit high. not something I recommend either. But this program's not meant for kids, so. Yep, we're good here. No track near me anymore. Traxxas Max or a Haas? Ooh, that's, I don't know. If you can afford it, get a Max. The Haas is just a glorified Traxxas Stampede 4x4. So I think you'd still run in on a 3-cell battery, or can it run on a 4-cell now? I think it's 3-cell. You'll still run into the same problems. They got the HD drive shafts on the Haas, but they still break. So we don't see too many driveline issues with the Traxxas Max. So if you can afford it, and it's not actually, realistically, it's not that much more money. What is it, $529 to $469? Yeah. If I had to choose between the two, I'd do a Max myself. Plus, I can just go a little bit faster with the 4S battery. So here's what I'm talking about. You kind of got to be careful when I'm doing this my way with the triple punch on the sides. You do have to really watch the glue, make sure it doesn't seep into the opening. Which, you know, it is what it is. Little squeeze, and then we'll set this one back right there. Or other suggestions, I don't know. So we're talking about, you know, Max or a Haas. I think a Max is probably easier to work on and tougher than, say, a Revo. So I wouldn't look at that. That being said, a Haas is probably easier to work on than a Max, really. If you're going to look elsewhere, I mean, the only other thing that I would look at in the bashing department would be, you know, an Arma, Creighton, Outcast. The new Granites, they're kind of cool. It's kind of like a Haas, just a lot cheaper. Or Big Rock. The only gripe that I have, on that is the plastic chassis on the 3S stuff with Arma. Not that there's anything wrong with them, and they're super awesome basher cars, but we do sell a lot of chassis. That just means people are getting the full use out of them, though, so that's good. But any of the Arma 6S stuff is comparable to what a Max is. I think you really can't go wrong there. And you said you don't have a local hobby shop, so that'd be the only other thing is you know, for you would be availability of parts. That's what I always tell people. But if you're stuck doing online anyways, I guess you don't really, it's not really going to matter either way. So, because not everybody's hobby shop is going to carry, you know, some of that stuff. You know, we're definitely a Traxxas and Arma heavy store, but that's because in our area in Omaha, that's what's traditionally sold. Anytime that we've tried to get other stuff, it just doesn't sell very well, and we got to like ditch it for super cheap. So, you know, we gotta We got to carry what works and what sells. Daniel's like X-Max. Yeah. That's like twice as much money. Okay. Tires are done. So these are my tires from the last Summer Series race. And if you guys can see that, they have still a fairly decent amount of tread on them. So since I'm not racing this weekend, I'm going to have these for Emerson, since I know they're completely broken in, ready to go for Saturday. And then these, it looks like crap, but these are Ellipse gold fronts that have the sidewall glued on them to try to keep the car from traction rolling as much. And they worked really well during the mains on the last Saturday that we raced. So I have those on standby. Helion. Ugh. No. Plus, they don't make them anymore, so you don't have a choice. I would not buy a Helion. Really, the only other car that I would think that I personally have seen that even comes close to what the Traxxas line has, or say an Arma, the Red Cat Kaiju actually is pretty tough, and it's a very simple, easy to work on truck, and it looks just different enough and has just enough of the neat stuff with it. I think it comes with Hobby Wing electronics and a Fly Sky radio. You know, that would be something to look into. I could see that. So I'm oh, yeah, Texas. Okay. Actually, yeah, Daniel. So last year, I did glue my sidewalls in the front, but not in the back for carpet. However, if you're gonna race stock or 13.5 4-wheel drive, you might not need to do that. So just be aware. In mod 2-wheel drive, yes. In the other two, probably not. There we go. Now he's standing up. Woohoo! I get to put together his guns now. Yeah, that's true too. Matt just said like the Losi MT. You know, I always kind of forget about the Losi cars. The new laser nut's not too bad, and all it really is a 10 tenacity with a different body on it and different tires on it. It's really, that's all it is. So it's got like an 8 scale layout. So it has front, center, and rear diffs, and that's also pretty easy to work on. I always kind of forget about those. So you're looking at the the new laser nut, or the Baja Ray, or the Rock Ray. Those are all viable options as good bashers. But again, it kind of comes down to, for you, parts availability, and also, you know, just kind of how they look too. The laser nut's pretty cool, and we've sold a few of them. They seem to be pretty badass. So Daniel said, do I put holes in the tires? You should. Everybody has their own method. I don't know, I've showed that before, but I usually put 3 on the sidewall, on the inner sidewalls with a 3mm punch. Some people only do 2. Some people only do 1. Other guys I've seen put holes right there, 1 or 2. The main point is just to vent the tire. With the closed cell foams, it just you don't want the tire to build up any pressure, right? Air pressure in RC car racing is bad for tires. So that's why the holes are there to begin with. And because we're running closed cell foams, a lot of times just that inner hole on your rim isn't good enough because the foam, because it's closed cell, isn't allowing that air to pass through. So that's why you'll see most of the racers put extra holes in their tires. The reason why I do the inner sidewall is because I don't want a bunch of crap in my tire. So I used to put holes actually in the outside of the tire, and if you ever ran through any mud or any sort of wet, or tire sauce gets on the inside of the tire, it can ruin the foam. So I started putting them on the sidewall, on the inner sidewall, because it's very rare to have anything get in there on the inner sidewall. Even running through mud and stuff doesn't seem to get in there. You don't want it on the outer sidewall because your car's, leaning into corners and stuff, and it can get crap in there. So yeah, I did an unboxing on the laser nut, and it's weird. It came out like a week before the felony, and there was a third car in there too, maybe the Outcast 8S or something. But I watched the viewership of each unboxing. Oh, it was the Haas. That's what it was. So the felony was first, the Haas was second, and the laser nut was third. And so we kind of based our ordering on that. So so we ordered like a whole bunch of felonies, kind of in the middle on the Haas's, and then we ordered 2 laser nuts, and we sold a couple so far. So, and no complaints on them either on the laser nut. The 2 that we've sold, they've been really happy with them, and they haven't even come in and bought any parts or anything. So they must be pretty tough, unless they're just not using them, that hard. You never know. The coolest thing about the laser nut was the lights. Like the lights are super bright on it. Where is A? Yeah, they are a little bit big, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Oh, there's A. A7. So my goal for Monday is to have him painted to look like the Mandalorian. Even though I know some stuff doesn't quite match up, like the Mando doesn't have these little ribs right here, and his cape is different. I don't think Mando has these like knee guards at all. So I might just take them off, but I'm gonna try to get them all painted up and cool looking on Monday, my day off. Daniel wishes he bought the Losi short course truck instead of the Slash Ultimate. Yeah, if you're only intent on racing, then yes, the Losi short course truck probably would have been better. But if you do any sort of fun outside of racing, nothing wrong with the Slash Ultimate, man. Plus, they're tough. I think they're super tough. So there is a D. What is this? Oh, right there. D1, D5, so Dallas wants to know when can he start to play on the carpet with the off-road. So the thing about our carpet off-road is that it's an on-road track first, and so really the only days, maybe this can change, but I would need help in setting up the track, because it's like a 3 or 4 hour process to get the track done. So basically our first race is October 10th, and the track is usually up that Friday. So October 9th, the track is usually up by 4 p.m. and we allow people to go out and practice at that time. The rest of the time during the week, because there's no protection on our carpet, we don't really let any off-road cars out there. So it's usually the Friday before our Saturday race, and then Saturday, and then we take the track down Saturday night. So that's just kind of the way it is, because it's not a permanent thing. We have to pick it up and we have to pick it up basically every time we race. We have to put everything back. Give me a second here, guys. Yeah, I'll probably make some posts about what to do. I usually have help putting it away. That's usually not a problem. It's just that when we're putting the track up, it's usually during the day at the Plex. So if it's anything like last year, I usually ask to get scheduled to come in to actually put the track up on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. This was a good one, you guys. There was a lot of people online tonight, and a lot of really good questions too. A lot of good back and forth. That's kind of always what I want with the after hours show, because sometimes if I'm at the store, I'm busy trying to do stuff like put stuff away or get orders done or like today I had to go down and build all the trophies. So it gives me a chance to just kind of shoot the shit basically, without a mask on too, which is great. But my computer's about to die, so I'm going to bail, and I will see you guys next week, if not sooner. So remember the podcast Mondays at 6:30-ish. We try to get started at 6:30. My sister's been doing some new stuff with her studio, and last week we started a little late, but it ended up being okay. So I will see you guys then, if not sooner. And I'll definitely have some videos this weekend of the mains from our last summer series. And I need to make a video with all the awards and the prizes and everything too, so I can recognize all the sponsors. So you guys will see that this week as well. So, but yeah, my computer is pretty much done, and it's been an hour and a half, which is what I like to do. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was a really good show tonight, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.